So, in today's video, we're going to be discussing the inner healing intelligence, the body's self correcting, self healing mechanism, and what exactly it needs in order to activate and heal itself. So, this is a topic I'm fascinated by and something I've been starting to learn much more about. And I want to just start to plant some seeds with you here about understanding what exactly needs to happen so that you can access your own inner healing intelligence and release that trauma or transform whatever that issue is in your life, move past it, reset yourself, and thrive. So, join me and let's talk about it. So this is going to be a little bit of an off-the-cuff video here. I just kind of popped on the camera and decided I want to talk about this with you. There are a couple points I want to hit, but basically, I'm just kind of going wherever I want to go with this. So as a coach and as a hypnotherapist, and now as someone who does psychedelic support and psychedelic therapeutic work, there's an uncanny thing that you start to see when you work with enough people that I think if you're only working with yourself, it's easy to miss. And that is this presence of the deeper layer of our mind or the deeper layer of our nervous system, or what, in hypnosis, we would call the unconscious mind. And I think for a lot of us out there, perhaps for you, there's this kind of sense of not really knowing if that's a real thing or if that exists, or even what that would be if it did exist. And the sense that, I think for your average person, the sense that all I am is my conscious thinking brain. Like my entire being is my personality and my thinking self. That's who I am, right? And as hypnotherapists and as, anyone who works deeply with people, it starts to become really clear really quickly that this is not all that we are, that we're in fact so much more than just our conscious mind and just our ego and our personality, and that there's a deeper organizing intelligence that communicates through the body, through little unconscious little habits and micro expressions and feelings and emotions. There's an entire language and way that the unconscious mind shows up and expresses and communicates. Now, from a hypnosis angle, in the trainings I've gone through, the idea is that essentially the unconscious mind is the power in a human being. That your conscious mind, for the most part, is much weaker and much less influential over the outcome of what happens with you than your unconscious mind. Your unconscious mind, if you want to kind of follow this metaphor, it's like a rider on an elephant. The elephant is the unconscious mind. The rider is like this little person sitting atop trying to steer the elephant. Sometimes the elephant listens. Sometimes the elephant's going to do what the elephant's going to do. And ultimately, the quality of connection there matters a lot, right? The quality of rapport between the elephant and the rider matters a lot. But if the elephant wants to go run off and go drink from the water hole, the rider's along for the ride, right? So that's kind of what we're dealing with here as a power inside of us. Now, as I alluded to at the beginning of this video, in psychedelic therapy, it starts to become really self-evident that this inner power, this inner, deeper organizing intelligence that is the rest of us, shall we say, is not only profoundly powerful, it knows exactly how to heal itself. It really does. And, this is an idea I've heard, as I started to get more exposed to psychedelic therapy concepts. And I'll be honest, at first I was a bit kind of skeptical and I was like, oh, that sounds a bit woo-woo. And, there's a tone of religiosity almost to it that you'll see in certain psychedelic therapy talking heads and practitioners. And I was a little standoffish about the idea, but the more I interact with the nervous system, with the unconscious mind, with clients and what they're healing and the medicine, the more obvious this becomes. So the first idea I want to just kind of offer you guys here is just flat out the concept of the inner healing intelligence, that this is a thing. Okay. So I would suggest you consider that this is actually a thing. And I would suggest to you that if our bodies know how to heal itself, if our nervous system knows how to basically hit the reset button and correct whatever needs correcting, and knows how to release trauma, knows how to let go of that anxiety or resolve that depression or correct whatever needs correcting, then our job is to interact with it in a way that can encourage that to happen, right? And this is where I think people are often really don't have a good framework, quite frankly, and are often kind of missing the plot. And I'm saying that respectfully. I don't want to. We don't know what we don't know, right? And so I don't want to be judgmental about a society that we live in and the way people operate, where we just don't know how to interact with ourselves to create that self-healing effect because we're just not aware that this is a thing, that it exists, let alone what it would take to engage it and invite this to work. So what I've been noticing, and this is a big part of what's in the Secure Self-Relating course and a big part of the concepts there, you'll get it in the free course if you take the free course, and you'll learn how to work with it in the full paid course. But what I started to notice is that the unconscious mind communicates very directly, and the body is often inviting us to heal. The body wants to heal. The body knows how to heal itself. But what I started to notice is that the body needs a certain set of preconditions. It needs a certain set of inputs, a certain set of stimuli, a certain set of messages coming to it that signals to the body that this is an appropriate moment and a safe space to kind of engage in that process of self-healing. And so the second idea I want to kind of plant as a seed here with you is the idea that not only does the inner healing intelligence, exist, but it's asking to do its work all the time. We just don't recognize it. We don't know that that's what's happening in our nervous system. When other people's bodies are asking for healing, we don't notice or know that that's what's going on either, unless they explicitly tell our conscious mind from their conscious mind, hey, I want to heal. But that's rare, right? I think there are a lot of little examples in our world all the time that you've experienced throughout your life where your body or other people's bodies were trying to self-heal and asking for that. We just didn't recognize it and didn't know how to reply back or respond back to it. So it didn't have the safe inputs to do that. And it was just a miscommunication. The third concept I, kind of plant as a seed here with you is that when we learn not only how to recognize what that is, but we learn how to respond back in the right way and send that safety signal, send that communication that, yes, this is a safe space for you to do your healing work. The unconscious mind, the body will recognize that really quickly and start healing itself. And what I would say about that, and this has been so uncanny to see with my clients and with myself, because I do this with myself too. It's amazing. It's so uncanny how the moment you start communicating directly to the unconscious mind, it goes, oh, thank you. Thank you for hearing me. Thank you for seeing me. Cool, let's do this. And it'll start to initiate a self-healing process. Now, as this happens, I want to be clear that if we're connecting and engaging and sending that signal, it's not like a one-time thing where you just send that signal and then the unconscious mind gets it and goes into self-healing mode and you just passively let it. It's not really that. It will start to heal, but it will probably need continual engagement and support to be reassured that it's doing the right thing and know it's moving in the right direction with healing itself. So we need to not only know how to show up and create that signal of safety and create that safe container and that safe space and that moment of support, we also need to be consistently engaged and consistently sending that message to encourage the unfolding of whatever needs unfolding and the releasing of what needs releasing and the healing. And when the unconscious mind gets that signal, it gets so freed up and it knows exactly what to do. And all we have to do is stay with it and encourage it and keep relating to it the right way, and it will heal itself. Now, I've experienced this in my own life a bunch of times at this point, and I've seen a bunch of other people and I've supported a bunch of other people through this process of doing this with themselves, enough to know that it's very real and this communication really, really matters. So the idea I kind of want to convey to you here is that it's not just, does this even exist? Yes, it exists. It's also about recognizing when it's communicating. And then it's also about knowing how to communicate back in the right way that continues to send the safe signals that tells the unconscious mind now is a good time to do this. And that's it. That's healing. Like if you do that and you get good at that, it is amazing how quickly the nervous system can correct itself and start to release things and start to come back to center and feel balanced. And again, I work with people who have been through a lot. So I've seen this in people who have been dealing with trauma patterns for over 20 years, 30 years, or more even. And suddenly their nervous system just goes, ah, and it just starts to release and it just starts to heal. It's amazing. It's beautiful. So I want to just kind of put this idea out there. And I guess the point of the video here really is that your nervous system needs a certain set of inputs to be able to heal itself. And, ideally in a perfect world, you would be surrounded by amazing, beautiful, loving, attuned, emotionally intelligent human beings who understood that and knew exactly how to show up with you and give you that so that you could engage with others and have that process. But what I find a lot is that most of us are surrounded by people who don't have that ability, who are themselves a bit dysregulated, misattuned, have their own attachment wounds, and therefore unable to show up for us very skillfully, and or we just have kind of maybe toxic people around us, or people that neglect us, or we're pretty isolated. Unfortunately, I think that's heartbreaking, but that's truly another bunch of conversations for other days. But we can do this with ourselves. I want you to know that. I want you to know that we can heal ourselves. We can communicate with ourselves in this way that sets up this process and then support ourselves through that releasing, through that unfolding. This is something you can learn. This is something you can do. And it's exactly, what I want to teach you. So again, I don't want to over blow up the course. If you're interested in the course, this is a big part of what the course is about, is activating this inner healing intelligence and working with it, understanding it, communicating with it, recognizing with it, engaging with it, encouraging it, supporting it, and really allowing your body to do what it knows how to do. So if that interests you, and I really hope it does, please, go to the link down below. There's a link in the description of this video that goes to a Kajabi page that I set up. It's just a landing page. Just put in your email address, and I'm not going to spam you with it. But that's how I'm going to notify everyone when the course is available. So you'll have access to the free course, which is almost 5 hours, 4+ hours of material. And then that free course is a chunk of the full course. So you'll get a taster of what the full course will be like. And if you're interested in the full course and you want to learn the whole skill of how to do this, which is essentially the skill of self-therapy, self-healing, and it maps over into psychedelic therapy. So this is how you could do self-directed psychedelic therapy if that's of interest to you. Then, go take the full course, go sign up for the full course, and you'll learn this skill. But yeah, I just want to come on and talk about this because this idea of the inner healing intelligence, it is a bit woo-woo. It's something that not a lot of people are talking about. It's also something that's mysterious to a lot of therapists. There are a lot of therapists who don't know these skills and these approaches and these interactions to be able to elicit that out. They don't know how to recognize it. They don't know what to do with it because there are only certain models of therapy that really work with the unconscious mind really directly and understand how to communicate in this way. So I want to teach you this. And I want to share this with you. And again, I just want you to know in general that yes, this is a thing, and this is a thing you can learn, and that from my point of view, this is how healing is done. And for whatever it's worth, because I know a lot of people want to heal but are also scared that it's going to be overwhelming. It's actually incredibly beautiful and graceful when you get it down just right. It's so much less confronting and painful and challenging than you might think. So anyways, just thought I'd share all that with you. Just wanted to talk about it a little bit. The inner healing intelligence. It's amazing. Some of the things that clients have realized and connected to in order to heal. For me, as a hypnotherapist and a coach working with them from the outside, there's no way I could have known that was the healing piece. And so, in a certain sense, I would really encourage you to explore this and think more about this just as a concept, but also consider perhaps learning about it from the course. Because there's stuff there. There's intelligence inside of you that I don't think anyone else would know exactly what to do in the same way that your own deeper intelligence would. So I want to encourage you to consider how to access that and learn about that, because when we have this ability to self-heal, it's profound on so many levels. I'll be talking more about the implications of this in other videos and kind of like what the bigger picture of self-healing is. There's a lot there, but just want to share this with you guys, and I hope this treats you well. And let me know what you think. Does this resonate? Am I just rambling and being annoying? Leave a comment down below. Let me know how this hits for you. And if you're curious about this, or if you feel like you're ready to understand this, if this is an obvious thing to you or not at all an obvious thing to you. All right, much love. I'm going to go for now. I've got to go log on with a client here in just a moment, and I will see you guys in another video soon. Take care.